It's like K.O.B. inside MSG. So like we top seed, old school's top speed. Pimp slap left hand, is that hoe gon' bang? Is your bitch gon' gang? Is your nuts on swang? That's pinning who they attached to. Pistachios and bag moves. Took my head up out my moon to be the sun and hoop in glass shoes. Cash, back up on that ass. Season dose, I'm off that gas too.
Coming no warning, Jack kamikaze. Bloody, battered and bruised. Adrian life been rocky. Third act of my saga struggle didn't break me or stop me. Dressing like I like my hair real drippy and sloppy. Draped up and dripped out. Put my money where I be talking about. About to move to H-Town and motherfucking burn it down. Henry tried not by Optimate Prime. I'ma still be in that to the day that I die.
And on this week's episode of Gimme Some Headlines. Erik, I say again, Erik, season 2, episode 51 of Gimme Some Headlines. P over there talking about Feet Mafia, aka Tiny Toe Gang, aka what we just called him a second ago?
Feet Hive.
Feet Hive. Shouts out to Beehive, who definitely don't mind Queen Bee stinging whoever the fuck she feel like, if you know what I mean. But we gonna keep that on push.
Feet Hive get you. Feet Hive alone will keep OnlyFans afloat.
And as we tiptoe into that subject area, cause that jargon and the bargain, cause we gonna talk about Feet Hive and Beehive. If Kanye was a complete asshole for going on stage and doing what he did when he felt like Beyonce had been disrespected when she had one of the greatest videos of all time, we cannot jump into a flight deck when I already got the blicky lit and I'm sipping on a Lynchburg lemonade mixed with a blue motherfucker, if you know what I'm talking about. And it's dulling my shit because of how bright that light is. You can't really tell how blue that bitch is, but that bitch blue. You did what I'm talking about.
It ain't as blue as that orange was orange, though.
I think it may be if you actually, hold on, what Pete Gainer.
That orange was Secret of the Ooze. All right, now that look like Secret of the Ooze, but that light, it was the light that did. Okay, that shit is blue. It's still not as blue as that orange, but it's blue. It's blue as hell. You and your neon drinks, bro. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't put none of that color in my body. That shit glowing, cuz.
That's out to anybody who like margaritas and shit like that. What I'm drinking on right now is a mix between a blue motherfucker, which it really Long Island iced tea with blue curacao instead of triple sec, because a Long Island iced tea is just the 5 well liquors, and then some tonic to splash that hoe. You feel what I'm saying? In a Collins glass, and it looked like tea because of the bourbon and whiskey in that bitch. It turned it to tea color with the gin, vodka, and triple sec. Then you got bourbon, whiskey. That's the 5 you did. Hold on, I missed one. Gin, bourbon, whiskey, tequila. Gin, bourbon, whiskey, tequila. Triple sec. Now I said the 5. Boom. So that's a Long Island iced tea. You switch the triple sec to a blue motherfucker. I mean, switch the triple sec to a blue curacao. You got a blue motherfucker. You did what I'm talking about. So what I got going tonight is a margarita, but instead of tequila, I got Jack Daniels in that bitch. And that's what we call a Lynchburg lemonade. When you replace the tequila, which is 1.5 ounces of tequila, 1/4 ounce of orange liqueur, which could be triple sec, Cointreau, Grand Marnier if you fancy, which I got a little bit of in the kitchen tatchy. I ain't fancy though, but I'm not a rapper though. But I am a rapper though, but I'm not fancy though. Shut up. But to finish the margarita recipe, you got 1.5 ounces of vodka. No, I'm fucking up. 1.5 ounces of tequila, 1/4 ounce of orange liqueur, which could be triple sec, Cointreau, or Grand Marnier. Then you got a splash of Rose's lime juice oil. You know what I'm saying? Squeeze actual lime in that bitch at you. You feel what I'm talking about? And then you got your sweet and sour mix. Now, the way you want to do this is take ice, fill your glass up, and start mixing what I was just telling you into that glass. And then when you get your sweet and sour mix, you want to agitate that bitch before you even touch it to your motherfucking mixture. And the reason for that is the sweet and sour has egg whites in the mix, because I know how to make that beer from scratch, because you know what I'm saying, I did a little bit of bartending back in my day, you know what I'm talking about. But it got egg whites in the mix. And if you think about whipping egg whites and then fluffing them up for different things and like that, agitating the egg whites actually makes the sweet and sour mix the correct viscosity and mixture that it's supposed to be before you even mix it into your drink. But the egg whites and needing to agitate them in order for them to properly commingle with the rest of the ingredients is literally the only fucking reason you agitate a fucking margarita. When you hit the little clap, 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 that's because of the egg whites in the sweet and sour mix. So do that in your little bottle before you mix it if you're making it at home. Then you top that bitch off and go, but see, this will make that motherfucker a Lynchburg lemonade. You replace the ounce and a half of tequila with Jack Daniels. You feel what I'm saying? So you got an ounce and a half of Jack Daniels, quarter ounce of triple sec, and then you got splash of lime juice, top it off with sweet and sour. And what you want to do is you take your ice and you pour until the ice float, because then boom, you stop right there. Because then, like, let's say this your glass right here. You fill your glass with ice and then you pour that ice into your mixing glass. When you pour the sweet and sour right until it float, that's how you know it's going to fit perfectly in this glass, because you have filled up the negative space. You understand me? So you fill up that negative space, and then when you cap it off and agitate it, you can pour it from your mixing glass back into your serving glass, and you know you off the rails with it. You feel me? And if you got a big ass mixing glass, you could fill up your cup with ice, dump it, fill it up with ice, dump it, and you know you making 2 glasses worth. So instead of an ounce and a half, you do 3 ounces. But anyway, I ain't teaching y'all niggas math. I'm teaching y'all niggas this Lynchburg lemonade / blue motherfucker. So all I did was replace the triple sec with blue curacao. But the thing that make it a Lynchburg lemonade is after you hit it with the sweet and sour and the tequila mix, you agitate that bitch. And then when you pouring it up, as you pour it up, you mix that bitch with your favorite lemon lime soda. I'm talking Sprite, Sierra Mist, 7-Up, fucking Kroger brand, Big K. I don't give a fuck what it is. But the whole point is you do not agitate carbonation. Whenever you making your drink, you do not agitate carbonation. When you pour into something, a Jack and Coke, you pour them bitches together if you want it to have a good mix. Or you pour your drink and then you pour your liquor on top of it because it's more dense than your drink. We're just teaching y'all a little bit of mixology to kick off season 2, episode 51 of Erik, Give Me Some Headlines, man. And I'm off that good liquor, man, because we talking about something wild today. And I'm going to toss it to my co-host because I got Yo Tango Mucho strong ass opinions on this. So I don't want to speak too definitively on it before I let my brother really sink his teeth into it. So I'm gonna let him talk about it until I hear silence. And then I'm finna go the fuck off. Man, and there is a high probability that this shit is fake. So understand that we here at Give Me Some Headlines. We'll be discussing this headline as though it has validity. And that the Oxars at the Putars. Go look up Oxars if you watch the Oscars. When they was giving out this little gold deity representing the Egyptian god of many things, deception being one of them. There's a high probability this shit fake. But this ain't a conspiracy, brother. This a flight deck / chop session. Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, man. And niggas been clipping that bitch together, and I might put a few of them up on the show where he gets smacked in and they cut. Everybody hates Chris. Niggas telling jokes like, what did Chris Rock wake up with on his face this morning. Fresh Prince. Shit like that. Niggas having a good old yuck yuck. Like this shit a good time. You feel?
That's fucked up. Oh man. The internet be winning. Wow.
Niggas telling better jokes than he did. They got him slapped. But yeah, so this the subject matter. That's your headline, and we gonna start making sure we give you that. Cause we wouldn't even give y'all niggas headlines on Give Me Some Headlines, but that's your headline. The Fresh Prince hates Chris. The nigga, and like, I got so much context I want to give on this, but I want to give P his opinion before I give any of my context, and just know that I'm not trying to set you up. Would you like some of my context before you give your opinion so you don't feel set up?
Literally just Freudian slipped and said, I'm trying to give P his opinion.
I'm saying give you your opinion unencumbered by any of my perspectives. That's what I stopped on. I don't want you to hold back on anything you want to say because you've gotten a counter punch already.
I'm not.
Okay, well, go do your thing. I'm still not gonna give you nothing. Do your ting tang. The mic is yours.
Nothing makes me happier. My pops used to always tell me, man, if a motherfucker say something to you, if a motherfucker say something that make you so mad that you want to slap his ass in the mouth, it was probably some shit that deserved to get him slapped in the mouth. And my pops is not even fighting. Like, the first fight I ever got in, I won. First fight I ever got in school, I won. I was terrified to tell my father I got in that damn fight. Like, my daddy is that you better not hit no damn body under no circumstances. Because my parents, we come from rural Alabama, so they don't want you in that system. Because if the system get a hold of your ass in rural Alabama, good luck, nigga. Will Smith got the type of money. You heard silent shit, nigga. Nah. Hold up. Will Smith.
I just laughed.
Some shit. Will Smith heard some shit from a nigga that made him so angry. And this shit, the more and more I look at it, the more I think it's fake. Because this motherfucker is at the Oscars. Like, this is the epitome of white. And for niggas who have played respectability politics for a good part of their lives, like Chris Rock thought that shit was out of pocket. And granted, this is a room full of trained actors. Like, this nigga legit won Best Lead Actor no less than 10 minutes after he slapped the fuck out of nigga. So if anybody could have pulled that shit off and acted it out well, it was them niggas that was on that stage. Also, true, I don't think Will Smith would have slapped any other nigga. Like, people keep saying if it was The Rock, he wouldn't have slapped. He could have slapped anybody in that moment, and anybody who give a fuck about their money is probably not going to retaliate. Like, they're not going to bust down in that hole, which is why also, it's like, you getting up there and slapping a nigga like that, it was interesting. Also, Jada Pinkett Smith got that wow. Oh, another great point about this. Beyonce need to stop going to award shows. Every time she show up to an award show, some wild shit happen. She was there for Lil Mama getting on the goddamn stage. She was there for Kanye getting on that goddamn stage. And she was there last night. Beyonce, stop going to award show. That was the point I wanted to make. And all of this shit, let's not lose what they trying to distract you from. We need to stop sending Beyonce to motherfucking award shows. That the Queen Bee do not need to be in the place because niggas lose their mind. And they feel like they can do anything. Like, she really, like, we talked about it in the top of the show. The Beehive is the strongest hive I chill.
Hold up, Chris. Beyonce, I'm going to let you finish. But what did the five fingers say to the face?
Slap. That was a real live, I think somebody said that was a real live Wayne Brady Chappelle skit from a Chappelle show. Also, man,
You almost gave
if it
me
wasn't
silence. You better keep talking, nigga.
I know where you going with this shit. I just want to make sure I get out all my takes. Cause I really don't like, honestly, bro, I don't care. Like, I hope it's real. I really hope it's real. And I also want to see the retaliation by the comedian known as Chris Rock, because that's what I want. Like, we're gonna get great art from this. And you know who gonna benefit? My cousin posted some us, true. But my cousin posted some Kanye lyrics last night when this popped off. And the white man get paid off for all of that. And that's the last point that I will make. All of this is entertainment, and all of it will make lots and lots of money for the people, mostly who are not melanated. I yield the floor. I yield the rest of my time. Beyonce, stop going to award shows, please.
I thank the senator from Alabama for giving me an opportunity to speak on this coonery. And I won't go full Dr. Umar, but I will say this. This very much has asking for a discount at a black business feel to me. Because I don't feel like he'd have did this shit to The Rock, because he'd have beat his ass. And he wouldn't have did this shit to Anthony Jeselnik, because he'd have been afraid that a white boy, because he'd have pressed charges.
Oh, okay.
You understand
like
what I'm saying?
A host type guy? Like a comedian?
He's a comedian who tells dead baby and rape jokes. He'd have told your wife be getting fucked joke, not a your wife is bald joke.
Gotcha.
And he wouldn't have did shit about it because he'd have been afraid of going to jail. You understand what I'm saying? So that same familiarity that made him feel comfortable to get up out of his seat and slap this man in the face because he knew he was small and wouldn't beat his ass, because he knew he was another brother who has familiarity with him, who's worked with his wife over the span of 15 years on Madagascar, his wife the hippo, and he the goddamn zebra. These motherfuckers know each other. You understand what I'm saying? That familiarity that made you feel comfortable to slap this man knowing he wouldn't press charges and send your black ass to jail. You could take your black ass to the Oscar after party and be rapping Summertime. If you done that to a white boy, the police would have been on your ass immediately, right or wrong.
Oh, 100%.
So that same familiarity that made you feel comfortable to do that shit should have kept your ass in your motherfucking seat. Step one. Step two. This nigga is a professional comedian from the Martin Lawrence era. I can remember Def Jam shows where niggas show up and he was like, hey man, we got Tretch from Naughty by Nature in the crowd, or some nigga from Naughty by Nature in the crowd, dating MC Light, you know what I'm saying? Crazy part is, I used to fuck her. This is how comedians used to move in Chris Rock prime. You understand me? See rapper in crowd, thug rapper. The chick you dating right now, I used to fuck her. Not even artful, not even a joke, just
a statement. Yeah.
And then he said something that was clever, referencing one of her songs, like I forget how he flipped it into one of MC Light's songs, but he didn't reference the Naughty by Nature. He referenced the MC Light track. But like, he didn't, when the trendy joke is your wife be getting fucked, he told a bald joke and compared your wife to striptease Demi Moore. Demi Moore in her prime made Bruce Willis in his prime put a ring on it. You understand what I'm saying? That's who he compared your wife to, who was in a all fucking military green dress with a military collar on the shit, with a bald head that looked like, I'm gonna put the pictures up on the goddamn podcast. Tell me this bitch didn't look like G.I. Jane, bruh. It wasn't even a hard reference. She was wearing all fucking military green with a military collar at an award show. That dress should not have had that collar on it. To say she looked like, if you go look at what her mouth looked like in the advertisement for G.I. Jane, you'd be like, God damn. The way Jada Pinkett looked when he said that, she looked exactly like Demi Moore and G.I. fucking Jane, bro. That movie is a movie about a woman who fights through prejudice, fucking misogyny, literal physical assault, in order to defend her fucking country. The only negative connotation associated with that movie is the bald head. And the only reason it would be worth slapping him over is if you agree that shit looks silly and comical. Right or fucking wrong. Demi Moore was sexy as fuck in that movie. Right or wrong. You seen that shit?
I never seen it.
Demi Moore fine as fuck in all the movies from the 90s, striptease included. She can't dance worth a shit, but the body 10 out of 10. And she made that little Sinead O'Connor bald head work. You hear me? It didn't hurt a goddamn thing. They shaved her head because she joined the military. You understand what I'm saying? So even in the film, this woman shaved her head because it served a purpose. So if you look at the actual narrative, you can't be a little bitch about the joke. The joke ain't some out-of-pocket shit like everybody trying to make. Oh, she got alopecia. I don't give a fuck. A nigga who fat probably got diabetes. How many people get fat jokes? When Will Smith's wife cheated on him and he broke down online, everybody told jokes about him like this man couldn't potentially be suicidal. None of that shit ever matter. But we gonna say it's okay to go put your hands in a nigga face over a G.I. Jane reference. So what would it be okay for Chris Rock to do because another man put his hands in his face? Because if that's Samuel David Allen, there is never an event where Will Smith can feel safe at again for the next 30, 40, 50 years of his life. Because I will be as patient as I need to be to get revenge on par with how visceral I felt. I will make sure he feels as comfortable as possible. And then I would slice that nigga face up, bruh. Dead ass. I don't care if I had to wait 15 years. We would be 55. And I would slice that nigga Will face up, bruh. If you think you're going to slap me in my face on national TV and it's not fake because I told a joke, then you putting your hands on me got to be justified for me to put that knife on your ass, bro. I'm going to make you wish you had killed me, bro. Dead ass, bro. You trying to wolf up and be you didn't do that shit. Keep your wife's name out my mouth. What about a nigga who had your wife in his mouth? You ain't going to put your hands on that nigga. You sat on TV and cried about that shit. So you're not finna come put your motherfucking hands on me and think you gonna feel comfortable to turn your back, let alone walk around feeling safe. You would have been in no goddamn party that night. Cause even if I'm not gangster, I got money and I know niggas who will come and handle that situation. I don't know how Chris Rock let him walk around feeling safe. If you're not gonna call the police, his life should have been in danger, bro. Because you put your hand in another grown-ass man's face for doing crowd work as a comedian. You sit in the front row as a bald-headed bitch and got a bald joke. If you sit in the front row and a comedian got a microphone and you fat as hell and get a fat joke, ain't no way in hell you should be angry. If you got on a loud, colorful outfit and a nigga reference your outfit like Kevin Hart did to Rick Ross when he was doing that fucking BET Awards, you should feel any kind of way. If you a 400-pound nigga wearing all leather and it's colorful and a nigga say something about it. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, that's a
you think a nigga who obese or who fat don't have issues, how he feel, don't be pointing out that I'm fat, cuz. Don't nobody want to hear that shit? Okay, it's okay to make fun of a fat bald nigga. Because baldness ain't hereditary. They choosing they baldness. She got alopecia. Don't nobody give a fuck what it is that give you your problems. Niggas make fun of problems. It's a thin line between comedy and drama. It always has been. And how the story is told, the intent is always how you're supposed to receive these things. And when you are up for best, thank you, sir. When you are up for best actor, sitting in the front row, and the last time your name was associated with the Oscars, there was a black boycott, and my black ass was the host. And I told a joke about your wife boycotting the Oscars, and I said, that's like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I never got an invitation. The last time y'all name was associated with the Oscars, I was making fun of y'all because y'all was boycotting and you was mad that you weren't nominated for concussion. You sitting right in front of me, nominated for another biopic, and I'm supposed to not address y'all niggas? That'd be cowardly. I'm a comedian. The last time I was at the Oscars and on this stage, I told a joke about you niggas because y'all boycotted and you was mad that you didn't get nominated. You sitting in front of me, nominated for another biopic. Will Smith been doing biopic after biopic after biopic after biopic, begging for this goddamn Oscar he just won. He didn't tell no jokes about that. He didn't say concussion, Ali, Richard. How many other black men was you willing to play? Obama. How many more black men was you willing to play if they didn't give you this Oscar? He didn't tell no jokes about how silly your fucking career been. He made a G.I. Jane joke. Fuck Will Smith, bruh. That's how I feel about this shit. Top to bottom, he a hoe for this shit. And for all of these soft ass niggas who taking this moment to go, that's how you ride for your lady. Because they never do the shit Will Smith did. I am sick of you niggas. Cause had I told that joke, it ain't one of you niggas who'd have came and slapped me. And I put that on God. Y'all fake ass, faggot ass, cis ass, fuck niggas. And I ain't talking about people who enjoy people of the same sex. Y'all do y'all thing. Cause I done seen some of y'all ride harder than any of these heterosexual sissy boot ass niggas. Fuck them niggas who on that fuck shit. That's who I'm talking about when I use the F word. And for anybody who don't apply, who felt offended, I apologize. But understand that I'm talking about these cis ass niggas who acting like they did what Will Smith did, when if they would have, they'd be just as big a coward as him. Because I define a bully by somebody who attacks someone and doesn't expect them to defend themselves. And that's why I reference The Rock, because he'd have beat his ass. And I reference Anthony Jeselnik because he'd have pressed charges. Because when he slapped that man in his face and turned his back, it said, I do not fear retaliation. If you do not fear retaliation, for you to be the aggressor, you are a fucking coward. Because what is the purpose of your aggression? You gonna use force to teach him a lesson? What you not gonna do is tell a joke about a fellow actor who you've worked with for 15 years, who's sitting 20 feet in front of you. That's what you not gonna do. You gonna use physical force to try and remove that power from someone who is paid to lighten the mood and transition through this fucking show. My wife. Your wife a fucking actor. She ain't some no-name motherfucking just accountant who came to support Willard Smith. Your wife is a fucking actress who would be hot if she never touched your penis or had any of your fucking babies. Fuck you. Ain't no way in hell you gonna tell me I can't tell a joke about somebody I done worked with for 15 years. Everybody standing up and caping for this faggot ass shit. For one, no, they don't move like that and wouldn't have did it if it were me, bro. And talk all that silly shit you want to. And I'm not saying I'm running around here disrespecting people paramours, but I've been in rap battles when niggas said slick shit, and you know how I responded? With bars and disrespect in bar form. But had anybody put their hands on me, P, how you think that shit would have ended?
In bars across their face.
I'd have been right above the goddamn Sawani Spo in the goddamn jail. You heard me? And I toss it back to you, bro. What you think of that, bro?
Bro, I honestly only have one response, and that is now you got to remove him from your album. If you feel a way about him now, you got to remove him from the album. But I get it, man. Like, yeah. He hit Chris. There's a lot of the cats he wouldn't have hit like that. One of the things that I want to point out about that situation is not that act.
How many niggas do you think he would have hit and turned his back on him? Turned his back on him.
I'm not even concerned about that shit no more. I'm concerned about the good shit that happened that followed that act of aggression, because that's what it was. It was legitimately an act of aggression. I can undoubtedly say I wouldn't have reacted like Chris Rock is a professional. And he
the worst part of the night
fuck
for
up
me.
his bag.
the worst part of the night for me is when that black man stood up there and apologized to the institution instead of the black man he put his hands on. When he apologized to the academy, that's when Willard Smith could suck a whole fat ass cucumber. I can separate an artist from the art, but at that point, I threw away the artist. And I will only hold on to the art he created up until he started to fucking suck, which is about After Earth. So about what that was, Bad Boys 3, the movie with the zombies, what that was?
I don't remember.
The last nigga on Earth movie. That's if it ain't that, he can keep all that bullshit. That. So I'll support the art up to that point, but the artist and his art at this point can suck my dick fucking.
Well, the point that I wanted to make, man, was let's not overlook black constructivism or niggas who did a great job at, I don't even know what to call it, conflict resolution, whatever, but Tyler Perry and Denzel is two real ass niggas, man. I appreciate those brothers for them. And I don't
what
even
they
care. They diffused the whole shit. Like apparently they was the people who in the room, like who like kind of diffused it and like settled down the energy in the entire room after it happened. They tried to do, when everybody was sitting around gawking, they actually tried to pull both men aside and chopped it up with them. And those are the two guys who did it.
Fuck Will and fuck Jada for taking his biggest moment of his career and ruining that shit after ruining all of his 2021. When Covet should have been the worst thing he was dealing with her and her bullshit. And when it should have been the happiest moment of his life, he was making himself a fucking clown.
Also, the more and more I think about it, yeah, I don't think that shit was real. I know, man.
It seemed fake as fuck. But I said I was going to approach this like it was real. I said that on the front end. I am going to discuss this like it's real. But on the front end, I referenced that they are handing out awards for deceit. I said that on the front end, right or wrong.
Yeah.
And then I said I was going to discuss it like it was real, right or wrong.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, definitely did that. We've been talking for about 30 minutes on it.
so
there you go. Yeah, we definitely talked about it like it was real. Yeah.
If it's fake for them to leverage the black community for this nonsense, they could both suck my, you know what? C.O.D. DecaturboyMusic here now. Can I do you a favor?
Man, please give me some headlines. Let's get away from here.
Help me, please.
Please.
Help me, please. All right. If you think we sliding away from difficult issues, Complex brings to you. Lisa Leslie says she was told not to make a big fuss over Brittany Griner's detainment in Russia.
That's not Brittany Griner.
I'm gonna just let that sit.
It's not the funny part. It's not the funny part. Brittany Griner being detained in Russia is not the reason I laugh for the folks who are on the audio platform. That's not why I laughed. I laugh because he know I do not like talking about these types of issues, especially back to back. He throwing it at me anyway, but he gonna get all of it today. Let's go, man. We gonna dive into it. I'm gonna see how I feel.
The Guardian.
How I feel.
Dubai throws open the doors for rich Russians escaping sanctions.
Oh my God. All
right. You want a softball or you want me to keep it up?
Nah, keep it up.
Perspective. Hillsong, A mega church exposed reveals something more sinister than hypocrisy.
That one. That one. That one.
Okay.
We're going to talk about them. I have had beef with that church.
Dead ass, this specific church?
I don't like mega churches. I do not like them. And I feel very strongly about them. Very strongly.
Yes, sir. This story right here is brought to you by the Washington Post. And that headline is in a what? Okay, when I clicked on it, the headline went away, so I got to go back out. A mega church exposed. Hillsong. A mega church exposed reveals something more sinister than hypocrisy. For the first 2 decades of my life, there was very little I did that wasn't touched somehow by evangelical churches. I can still sing a random smattering of Bible verses thanks to a catchy little melodies we played on cassette tapes in the car. If I squeezed my eyes shut hard enough, I could reach down into the primordial dregs of my memory and find some of the pledge of the Christian flag, bringing up with that Play-Doh smell of my preschool classroom at Church Adjacent Academy in Scottsdale, Arizona. I still remember the first time I ever felt so overwhelmed by the Holy Spirit that I wept during a church service. I was 11, and it was during a rendition of Shout Out to the Lord, a beloved praise anthem from none other than Hillsong, the Australia-based global charismatic church network known best at the time for its stirring, internationally popular worship songs. I'm still working out why exactly I quit going to church in my early 20s. About a decade ago, for a long time, all I could really muster was that I could no longer ignore a gnawing suspicion that I'd be happier if I did. I was an adult, though. I'd started to piece together that perhaps it had less to do with God and more to do with Bible or Christianity itself than with fallible, corruptible, misguidable human beings I answered to every Sunday. So when I watched Discovery Plus's new 3-part documentary, Hillsong, A Megachurch Exposed, some of what uncovered felt wholly, sadly familiar. Other revelations, though, were uniquely horrifying. A Megachurch Exposed aims to spotlight the many alleged wrongdoings of Hillsong, which now has locations in 30 countries. It airs allegations that Hillsong's leadership got rich off donations while heavily exploiting volunteer labor, and argues that pastors have engaged in extramarital affairs and mishandled accusations of sexual misconduct by church staff despite teaching the evils of impurity and lying. Arguably, Hillsong's most famous scandal stateside involved the downfall of Carl Lentz, the young attractive pastor dubbed Hyper Priest by GQ, often spotted wearing luxury streetwear and hanging out with celebrities among the congregation, including Justin and Hailey Bieber, Kourtney Kardashian, and Kevin Durant. In 2020, Lentz admitted to having a months-long extramarital affair and was fired from his position as head of Hillsong. Only American church located in New York City, A Megachurch Exposed, delves into the saga while also featuring testimonies from former staffers, volunteers, and congregation members. Woo! Lots more fluff, but basically they talking about having watched that documentary, and y'all should go check that out. It's called Hillsong, A Megachurch Exposed. And what are your thoughts, my guy, hearing that initial expose into some of what their personal connection to the church and how this documentary affected them and their disconnection and that kind of not metamorphosis, but that kind of point in their metamorphosis as a human being, that reflection point.
That shit difficult, man. It's difficult to hear for me because of like my attachment with church. And like a lot of people get sucked in by that shit, man. And like I've seen it, I can only speak from my perspective. And like I grew up in a very, very small church, but even in small churches, like when somebody, bad leadership is bad leadership is bad leadership, no matter where you go. And it's really bad when you have somebody who's responsible or as one of their responsibilities, and they're called in their role as a spiritual leader by the divine to lead, so to speak, their sheep or their flock to the destination, which is whatever you believe heaven to be, or like the afterlife. And like to be a steward over somebody's spirituality, because we've talked about on this show how you have the mind, like doctors of the mind, or your psychologists, doctors of the body, or your medical doctors, and then you have doctors of spirituality, which are your pastors. And to have that entire whole, you have that the mind, the body, and the spirit. And I believe the spirit is probably, if any three are, and you need the three for balance, but that spirit is a very, very super important piece. And it gets overlooked a lot of the times. But to be a steward over somebody's spirit and their spiritual growth, and to take advantage to the point where, like, you, for lack of a better word, mind fuck them to where you can manipulate your relationship and you stop being a spiritual leader and you go after their sexuality because you, as their spiritual leader, fall prey to your own, you fall prey to the own temptations in your life. And like those temptations are the people you are stewarding, and like not somebody who's a peer or what have you. And that taints the entire, like if you do that to one of the sheep in your flock, like how much better are you than the wolf that you claim to protect them from? You are the wolf, but you are a wolf in shepherd's clothing, which I think you're not even trying to be one of them. Like you're the person who's supposed to be protecting. Like it's not a peer, and you're the wolf. And so that's, and I've seen it in small churches. I've seen it, like it happens everywhere, but I do not like mega churches because of the level of profitability in
it
so
bothers me.
And it's not,
it bothers me that they take great pride in being a conduit to God, all the way up until the point that they sin, and then they want to be human. And they want forgiveness.
An extension of the
they
deity.
Want to be flawed. You feel what I'm saying? All the way up until the point that they sin. They don't hold themselves to that higher standard as stewards over your connection and relationship with God. They bring themselves back to your level when they sin. And that bothered me about that element of things.
They see themselves as Hercules. But when they sin, remember Hercules was adopted by human parents. He has, and I definitely, that's a really good analogy. And yeah, it's fucked them, bro. Like, cause I'll tell you why, bro. You said it in one of your songs, and I apologize because I don't remember the title of the song, but I do remember the lyrics or the idea that your mother, you said, wanted you to be a reverend, and you're not in the traditional pulpit, but this is your pulpit, this is your ministry. And that's what I had to learn. Like I always have this, because of, my relationship with my grandmother and gospel music and spirituality and like the prayers of my grandfathers. Like my grandfathers are who people call me like when they see me, because I have that, I am very like them in my spirituality and like that need for closeness with God. And it's not from a fear standpoint. It's from I want to build a relationship with a deity. And I don't believe anybody who chooses any deity. Go ahead.
Anybody who wants to enjoy those musical stylings of Third, brought to you by Gimme Some Headlines. Go enjoy the vacation countdown to Valentine's Day. That is track 19, Pressure. Those bars are, Mama always said I would be a pastor. Don't know if this the gospel she had in mind, but fuck it, it'll happen on God's time. But the entire tape is beautiful art that is dead ass based on life, love. Not very much laughter, but boy, it's some literature on there for your ass. But I toss it back to my brethren.
Square bitty, man. Pressure. Yeah. And that I take that ministry seriously, man, because you like a part. This is how I see this is my pulpit, bro. And I hope that gives you some insight that I'm very careful about what I say and very careful about how the message is delivered to people, because I don't want to take advantage of it. Like, I believe this shit is going to be spiritual for people. And I don't want to lead people astray. I don't want to take advantage of people. My goal in my life is to give and to spread light and to do what I believe God has called me to do. And so it takes me, like, I take that very seriously, and like what we've chosen to do. Like, the pen is mightier than the sword. Like, that shit is not just some idiom that motherfuckers say. Like, that is an actual thing. And so how I present myself personally, I take this serious as my ministry. In every platform that I'm on where I'm using my voice, like, I take that shit seriously, because words manipulate people, or people hear things and they believe it's one thing, and you telling them one thing, but you showing up as something completely fucking different. Like, that's lying, man. And like, I hate lying. Not to say that I've never done this shit, but that's something I don't want to be, as a motherfucking liar. And that's a big part of why motherfuckers haven't heard a lot of my music as well, is because I want to make sure everything you fucking hear from me is the goddamn truth. And
I couldn't give a
if
fuck.
It's not gonna be.
I lie to you niggas. I don't give a fuck about y'all.
And it ain't got nothing to do with y'all, to be honest. I want everything I say to be.
Let me explain why. Because understand this. I feel pigeonholed by the notion that rappers are the only genre of entertainment or art who are supposed to be a personification of that art. I was gifted with the ability to tell a story like no one you have ever heard in your lifetime. My grasp over the English language is growing every day. And when I tell you I open up extremely slowly like a gator, but when I chomp down and I grasp something, my ability to mangle that shit is ridiculous. The amount of time I spent with Shakespeare and 10-syllabic structure and iambic pentameter, and the way I'm able to fold that shit into the way I write is seamless. All I gotta do is flip on the switch and I am rapping Shakespearean verse, and you couldn't tell the difference unless you decoded the shit and saw the syllabic structure written out and where the emphasis came. Like, I dead ass did a couple of couplets from Othello on vacation, but I wrote my words, but they were Othello's rhythms. I could strangle you bitches about this shit. That's how sick I am with this motherfucking art. But vacation is all factual. I ain't even gonna cap. Them bitches is autobiographical than a motherfucker.
I was about to say, what are you lying in? I don't know any verses.
I don't be lying, but I will lie to you niggas. About? I will though.
No, you ain't.
It is my right to. That's what I'm saying.
He lying right now.
I am.
Because they know, we talk about this
these
shit.
Niggas who do be lying.
Nah, don't defend them.
Right to lie. Nah, I'm defending them niggas. Because none of them niggas are equipped with the ability to defend themselves in the way that I could defend them. And they deserve a public defender just like these criminals do. These niggas can't articulate this shit the way I can, man. So I'm gonna defend these lying ass niggas. Man.
I got you. I defend them. This is how I see this shit. An artist has every right to tell you what the hell they want you to hear. 100%. An orator, anybody standing in front of you, it is your job to go and figure it out. If
do anybody got a problem with Stan Lee not following a nigga named Peter Parker around and documenting his life? You enjoy Spider-Man. Don't nobody got a problem with Stan Lee not following a nigga name, whatever Captain America real name is. Stan Lee don't know a nigga named Tony Stark. And my point is, bitch, I'ma give you Iron Man if that's where my pen take me. I'd be damned if you stop me from giving you X-Men because I don't know mutants. Fuck y'all. That's what I'm saying.
Fair. I'm saying every artist has the right to say whatever the hell the art takes them to. Before my dog took the mic from me and said exactly what I was going to say, because whatever the artist tells you, it is meant for you to have as the receiver of the art. And it says more about you, what you get from the art, than what the art is saying to you. So whatever you get from the art says more about you than it does the artist. So say what the hell you want, artist.
You seen that article about all the Stan Lee character names being alliterations?
I ain't seen the article, but I can, yeah.
Go through the names. Say as many as you can think of. You got Peter Parker. What's Superman real name?
Clark Kent.
That nigga DC. I'm tripping.
Oh.
He in alliteration like a motherfucker though. Yeah. Batman DC too. You get the point.
Peter Parker.
What Black Panther real name? You hear the alliteration, but we just gonna keep it moving, man.
We gotta at least find one more. What's Captain America real name?
Whitey McWhiterson. Hold up. Right there.
Yeah, we filming big time with this.
What are the names? Fuck. Hey Siri, what are the real names or some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters?
Okay, I found this on the web. For what are the real names are some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters?
Shit. Cortana better than Siri. You heard it here first. Bruce Banner. Good job. BB. What's Scarlett Johansson name in them shits?
Hold on. Natalia Alanovna. Natalia Romanova. I got it.
Okay, here we go. Lois Lane, Clark Kent, Lex Luthor, Billy Batson. Captain Marvel is Billy Batson / Shazam. Wonder Woman. Hawk Girl is Sharia Sanders. The Caped Crusader, aka Batman. Scarlet Speedster is the Flash. Hold up, it's a bunch more. Hold up, it's a bunch of these hoes. Okay,
Wade Wilson. That's
Wade Wilson. Yep, that's Deadpool. Wade Wilson. Damn, I had just seen him on the X-Men list.
Stephen Strange. Dr.
Stephen Strange. So y'all get it. I was tough in the beginning, but there's meat on the bone. And we're you did the transition. Pepper fucking Potts. But yeah, we gonna use this to transition right on into fuck you, dog. We gonna use it to transition right on into give me some TV. You know what I'm saying? P, you sound like you've been using that Disney Plus. What you been watching on TV, man, on your screens, your various screens?
Man, I'm still on this damn Drive to Survive. This is not NASCAR, Formula One joint. Watch some more episodes, man, and it's a very spicy French.
Hold up, talk to the people about that dynamic. We talked about we had to Give Me Some TV last week. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so like a pack of cigarettes, how addicting is it? How many episodes a week you watching? How far Where were you last week? Where the fuck you at this week? And then tell me about it again. Sorry to interrupt, but I feel like that's good add context for how addicting this show is. You did what I'm talking about in the binge watching world when all of your seasons is right there for you. Talk to the people.
Yeah, man. So I went from season 1 episode, I think it was 10 episodes in the first season. I went from I watched 3 episodes. I watched 9, 10, and season 2, episode 1 this past week. I got 3 of them in this week. But yeah, man. So when we left off, it was a young fella from the Haas team. I forget buddy name, but he always crashing. Grosjean, something like that. Buddy always fucking up their money. He always fucking up the cars. Always slamming them into a wall. And his coach is fucking fed up with it. So now we in season 2, and like his coach really not with the shits. Like he tired of that motherfucker. But like one of his other driver doing very well. And so he getting a whole lot of love. Little blonde-eyed boy. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy named Kevin Magnuson. He's from somewhere over there in like Sweden, some shit like that. But yeah, man, like this world seems like it is like the teams are big teams of people, but I guess you would need a whole lot of different like engineers and shit, and like people who are good at data, people who are good at,
nerds.
Blah, blah. Yeah, big nerds. Also, this is something I want to get black people into, bro, because ain't no black people in this shit, and I feel like this shit look mad dangerous though, bro. Like them motherfuckers going at like you going 200 miles an hour in a go-kart with people who going 200 miles also. It's 20 of y'all out there going 200 miles an hour. That's a lot of MPHs. Lot of shit going on. But it is intoxicating as far as TV. That shit is fantastic and high octane, and I'm really trying to go to one of these races soon. But that's that's the only thing I really watch outside of a few games of the tournament. What you
how the tournament been going?
It's the games I've seen have been pretty decent. I can't even front. I got to see the oh my goodness. Who did I get to watch? I can't even remember who they were. So I guess apparently it really ain't that interesting.
This year Cinderella's still alive, ain't it? This year Cinderella in the Final Four.
No.
Who it was?
North Carolina got them about to paint. St. Peter's.
Okay. They got them out to paint, cuz.
Yeah, the Final Four is Kansas, Duke, UNC, and I forget the other team. I'm sorry, other team who worked very hard to get here, but I do not remember.
Kansas, Duke, UNC. Nope.
I think it's another blue blood. Oh, Villanova. Shout out to Jay Wright.
Kicking shit?
Bro, hey, Jay Wright got them boys right, man. They play hella good defense. I watched them. They beat Houston. That's the game I watched. Villanova versus Houston. Houston couldn't buy a basket, bro. They went 1 for 20 from 3. Like had they made, bro, they held Villanova to 50 points, but they only scored 44. Bro, but Villanova played great D too, though. Like they played great defense.
That wasn't a situation where they might have bust their ass if they had to, because them bitches couldn't hit anything. Them niggas just played contain. You feel what I'm saying?
But their defense is crazy though. Like their defense was nice, and it wasn't like a boring, like it wasn't a bad game. Like it was just a very good defensive game, and motherfuckers was tuned in. Like points was hard to come by, bro. Like they was hard to come by, and that shit was fun to watch as a guy who liked to defend. Like that shit was fun to watch. But I hate my team didn't pull through.
Type of defender.
I was a slap the ground type nigga. I realized how annoying that shit was, and I stopped. I was a slap the ground defender my junior year. C year, I did not slap the ground. I just played good defense. I realized it take a lot of fucking effort, like to slap the ground. Like why would I do that and waste like a couple joules of energy to fucking slap the ground.
Yeah,
Like I'm amped the fuck up. Like that's a crowd pleaser. Oh, he slapped the floor. He really ready to go, and then you get your ass sauced up because you a little bit more tired now. Yeah, don't do that to yourself. Don't be a slap the floor guy. Slap your chest or something. Something where you ain't got to bend your legs all the way down, and then lower like your back. Like if you realize the physics of slapping the floor, like niggas wouldn't do it no more. It's the stupidest shit. Like it's the stupidest shit. That's a good down and back to the free throw line sprint right there. Like it's that amount of energy to do that. Oh, hey man. I remember for some reason I thought of a random fucking high school basketball memory. You remember when motherfuckers like everybody be on the baseline and one nigga gotta stand out there in front of them and shoot free throws? And like you miss the first one, it's down and back, and then you make the first, miss the second, it's down back, make both of them, nobody runs. Them niggas just love you when you hit both them free throws. Because our coach, shout out to Coach Watson, he used to make the motherfucking gym 95 degrees when we practice, bro. It used to be a fucking sweat box in that bitch. So no matter what gym we went to, we was always the team that was in better shape. We pressed the entire game. Like, bro, niggas had wind. Like, we ran so much during practice. But we had to. That shit. Yeah. At the time, we was 6'4". We had to read it. We ran.
Yeah. Can I tell you about what I've been watching, OG?
Go ahead.
I've been watching this show available on HBO Max for you niggas who be going that route. It's called Raised by Wolves, and it's by somebody who you'll hear me. Oh, you done peeped this shit? You done seen some episodes?
I've seen, not the episodes, but I've seen like the.
Boy, this shit interesting. You hear me?
It's the second season right now, but like I saw like
it is.
Okay,
I'm on season 1. I'm on season 1, episode 7. I watched part of 8, but I was doing other stuff, writing the song and shit like that, so I ain't catch it. And the way my screens is set up
from another show,
it's like right here, like bidam, and then the screen is right here. So I went watch it. It was in my peripherals. You feel what I'm saying? But I watched 1 through 7, and I'm gonna read you the description of that whole, right?
Okay.
So, androids are tasked with raising human children on a mysterious planet. After Earth is torn apart by religious differences and the human race teeters on the edge of extinction, an atheistic android architect sends 2 creations, mother and father, to start a peaceful, godless colony on planet Kepler 22b. From executive producer Ridley Scott, Raised by Wolves follows mother and father as they attempt to raise human children in this mysterious virgin land, a treacherous and difficult task that's jeopardized by the arrival of Mithraic and deeply devout religious order of surviving humans. As the androids make contact with the zealous and dangerous people, they struggle to control the beliefs of their fiercely self-determining children, man. It's all about the babies and the future, dog. It was crazy.
All about the babies in the future.
I'm all about that tabula rasa, that blank sheet of paper theory. So it's set in the future, but if they're telling this story, then are we on Kepler 22b? You dig what I'm saying? So I'm enjoying the show from that perspective. I like to put my own reality arc on the show to bring me into it more so. You feel what I'm saying? I enjoyed Breaking Bad because the bald-headed nigga with the goatee and the glasses, that's what all chemistry teachers look like. So I pictured Mr. Wintersheed going bad and starting to sell and trapping out Decatur. I was watching Coach Wintersheed, the wrestling coach at Decatur, break bad. You understand what I'm saying? That's why Breaking Bad was the shit to me. And Jesse Pinkman was some random white dude at the school who I used to fuck with. I made them people I knew, and I watched that show like it happened in Decatur. You feel what I'm saying? Like the people who...
Shout out to Mr. Kim Braille. That'd have been Mr. Kimbrell for me. He was a bald white dude with like he had the little shaving like on the side, but he had like the full white beard. And he talked like this. He's Mr. Kimbrell, talk like this. And he was my science teacher in the 6th grade, man. He looked just like in the middle school. Oh man, that's funny.
Bruh, I talked to this nigga about how to lose weight my senior year because I was getting ready for, college visits and shit. He is like, tell you what, if I help you out and you get down to 275, you come out for the wrestling team because that's the heavyweight class, 215 to 275. And my brother was undefeated for him before my mama made him quit. So he was like, oh, it's another Allen in this bitch. He a big chunky motherfucker too. I get him to 275. I know he dominated. You feel me? So I was like, you know what? I'm 337 at the time. I'm like, whatever. Bet. Let's go for it. You know what I'm saying? And my nigga Cont had instilled that finish the drill. So I was like, if you give me a plan that worked, I'm going to finish this shit. Boy, when I tell you the day I was under 275, I walked into class and he looked at me and he was like, yeah. This nigga pulled out like this crazy fucking thing and it was like this water tank. This nigga weighed me with a chemistry experiment, cuz. And I came out to like 274.3. He broke out a regular scale. That shit worked out to 274.3. He was like, can I expect you at practice today? I was like, hell no. Well, I reneged like a motherfucker, bruh. But shouts out to chemistry teachers. But said all that to say, I'm watching this show like this could be how Earth started. You feel what I'm saying? And like to watch the whole dynamic between the atheists and like the atheists are the children being raised by androids, and then believers show up. So like the dynamic of how this show play out is fucking crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Like I can't even talk to you about plot points in it because they huge twists and turns. But just think about the dynamic of androids raising humans and they know their creator and they're raising them to be atheists. Think about that dynamic. An android raising humans to be atheists and they know their creator.
Also, the androids know who made them.
Yeah. That's some different shit. Ridley Scott a back. This the guy from Alien. You understand what I'm saying? This dude, Predator. This dude a bad motherfucker, bro. And I also think this bitch knows shit that he ain't talking about. And this show was so captivating through that prism and that lens that it made me think this, bro. And tell me if you think I'm crazy when I say this, bro. And I'm gonna switch to my crazy background when I say this, bro. There's nothing new under the sun, correct?
That's what they tell you.
So if there were prophets in the world in olden times, then there have to be prophets in modern times. If you were a prophet who could predict the future, but had to get a job, what career would you choose if not storyteller?
There's not another occupation that I would pick. I'm not a prophet, and that's the occupation.
What other career would document your stories for all of history to consume? There were no publishers and shit in the time of Confucius. The printing press was invented out. You feel what I'm saying? So motherfuckers got to understand the prophets of our time are very aware that they would be thrown in a crazy house if they told you they were prophets. But if them bitches put in the work to cultivate the ability to have $100 million budgets to tell you stories, bitch, you better go watch them stories. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's what I've been watching. Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, I might have to catch that one. I got so much other shit you got me doing though. I don't know if I have enough time.
Nigga, I gotta read 30 pages of Barracoon a day. By that Moon did. I got homework too, G. How far through Barracoon are you?
I'm in chapter 1.
Bullshit book club, baby. We popping off next week.
Yeah, we popping off.
He said, I'm in chapter 1. Whoa. No, Maya. That nigga Love is like, whoa. That nigga been reading like, no. Yeah. Can I do your flavor?
Yes, sir. Give me some headlines.
All right, bro. I really shited on you with the first one. So I'm hit you with some softballs this second go round. Sean Marion goes off on people who criticize.
Hold up. What was even that last segment? What did we just do? Was that not to give me some headlines?
It would give me some TV. We was talking about.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, all right.
This is C.O.D. operation. If you didn't know, that's why PHTIV don't know what's going on. That nigga, if it was a Spike P joint, he'd be orchestrated. He just along for the ride. But I'm out here doing things, man. Don't let them fool you. A nigga working, you understand me? Switching back rounds, switching black rounds. Pew, 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 pew. But yeah. Sean Marion. Then he said, what what the hell even is that? He said, daddy chill. But Sean Marion goes off on people who criticize his unorthodox jump shot. Suck my dick. It was on Twitter Spaces. I seen that shit live. It was pretty funny. Lakers latest on Anthony Davis return, Russell Westbrook trade buzz. Daryl Morey claps back at Ty Lue over Joel Embiid, James Harden free throw take. Peyton Manning wants letter and wine he sent to Tom Brady back.
Let's go with that last one.
That's a good time. Shouts out the boy Peyton. That nigga funny as shit. But
he's super funny, bro.
he a funny dude, man. Peyton Manning wants letter. I wonder
Will Smith would have slapped Peyton Manning.
Nah, cause he'd have definitely pressed charges. He slapped that nigga. He might have caused another neck surgery with that long goose neck that nigga got. He give him the Chris Rock treatment.
Because
y'all,
if he headbutt, cause Will a dead man.
Eli about that action though. If he slapped Peyton, Eli hit him with the Kanye West treatment. He walking back to his seat and Eli coming out the top rope with it. That boy head made of stone. But this story is by Sports Illustrated. That nigga Peyton Manning wants that nigga Peyton Manning. That ain't what Madison Williams said on March 26th. Madison Williams headline reads, excuse me. Peyton Manning wants letter and wine he sent back. Hold up. I'm burping this shit. Peyton Manning wants letter and wine he sent to Tom Brady back. And I'm one blue Lynchburg lemonade motherfucker in. When Tom Brady announced his retirement in February, former NFL quarterback Peyton Manning decided to send Tom Brady I'm writing you a 2-page letter and a bottle of wine to congratulate him on his career. However, Brady ended up coming out of retirement fairly quickly. By mid-March, he'd announced he was returning to the Buccaneers next season. So much for retirement. Manning was at an event hosted by Mint Collective on Saturday, and he mentioned the gifts he sent to Brady. Now that 44-year-old quarterback is out of retirement, Manning jokingly said he wants his gifts back. I want the letter back, Manning said. You got to read all those nice things. I want it back. I want that bottle of wine back too. And here go the clip. I fucked it up.
Yeah, I can't hear none of that.
Yeah, you got the gist of it, nigga. I read the quote before I tried to play the quote. I put it in the show for the community. And on that note, I toss it to my dog while I go get my refill of these motherfucking Lynchburg lemonades. Yeah.
The first thing I thought of was that bottle of wine was probably some racks. I would want it back too. Like, I need to, you and your wife was supposed to pop this and have a night without the kids. Nah, I need that. That shit, that bottle of wine, probably a good 12 racks. Like Peyton, he spent 5 figures on that bottle of wine. And he really sat down. It took him a whole long time to think of some good things to say about Tom Brady. I would want my shit back too. You don't get to keep that shit. Like, you was retiring. You was up out of here. You was over here with me. I need that back. Somebody probably did the same thing for him. Who was the quarterback that was the OG that retired like right before Peyton did? Like, I can't even, it wasn't Dan Marino. Dan Marino was back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, some shit like that. Actually, Dan Marino probably quit, but he was like in the mid 90s or something. But yeah, Peyton Manning a funny guy. Peyton Manning,
nice stout bottle of that Bobby, boy. Eee, hold on, I gotta turn my background off so y'all can see that shit, man. Your nigga drank. I be pre-mixing my shit. This ain't no tequila. This that Lynchburg shit I was talking about, but I pre-made me a bottle of it. You feel me? That shit look icy rock. That shit look crazy, don't it? Let my co-host speechless.
Cuz gonna be the type of uncle to like give his nephews alcohol and shit well before they need to be drinking it. Like, no, like, look at this dude. No, that look like let's taste this shit here, boy. It's just a lot of grumbling and words ran together. He gonna be off them guys and drunk as hell.
Getting counsel like Boosie for showing them something they need to see. You know what I'm talking about? But now the Annie Pete, one of my nephews was on the cover of a magazine out in Japan. I'm like, oh shit, this nigga out here modeling. And man, I just hit my whole tooth. You heard that shit? That shit hurt. Damn. But yeah, he was fly fuck on the cover, man. Little cold ass dude, man. Shouts out to Will, man. Will L, man. Ain't gonna put his last name out there. Call him Will L Cool J. You know what I mean? Shouts out to all the little brothers who caught all the swag on the back end. Y'all niggas thought y'all got the good DNA, but we got the cream of the crop. Hey, talk about scrape that bitch on the top.
That was up, man. What type of magazine was it? Was like a gaming magazine, sporting magazine, kids magazine, like a catalog for clothes. You cut the mic off.
That's racist because he Japanese. That nigga said gaming magazine. It was some model shit. It was a fashion magazine, nigga. He stylish, nigga. Fuck you, dog. And he look better than you.
Did I say clothing? Did I not say
he get more bitches than you?
I'm sure he do. I've been with the same woman for 6 years.
He get more bitches than me too, I hope. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking shit at that point. But it was a fashion magazine.
Like what kind of what type of clothing is it? Like leisure wear? Is it formal wear? Is it?
I don't want to be a jerk when I say this, but I'm gonna say this again. That motherfucker was in Japanese, so I don't know. I didn't see anything but fashion stuff and fly motherfuckers, and he was one of the fly motherfuckers, is all I'm saying. Nigga, I don't read Japanese, and I'm not gonna make no jokes, but do we understand that I have no idea what the fuck this magazine is about other than people with nice clothes on?
Do they speak? Are they fluent in Japanese?
Yes, nigga, they mama Japanese. They grew up in Japan. They moved to Hawaii when they was like 8, and then they went back when they was like, now they went to Tennessee when they was like 12. The oldest was 12, so we working on his timeline. Went to Hawaii when he was 8. So that mean the baby was like 5. So he was reading and writing in Japanese and English. Then he went to to Hawaii. Then he went to Tennessee for 4 years. So he went back out there at like 16. Yeah. So Ryan graduated high school and shit. He like college age. And then legit, he about to be, you know what I'm saying, at graduation age. So they spent collectively or individually, Orion spent probably 10 of his 18 formative years in Japan. So, and his mama Japanese. So yeah, he speak that shit.
Okay.
And then Will spent, that nigga younger. So he moved when he was 4 or 5. Went back when he was like 9. He still spend he'll end up spending more of his time over there than Will did because he younger. You see what I'm saying? Nigga, but I don't know where he going to college though. So them niggas speak it though. They speak the fuck out of it. I done heard them speaking to each other and not know what the fuck they were saying and just been like, okay, so when I come visit, I can kick it with the young folks and y'all niggas be my translator. We good. You feel me? That's all I needed to know. But yeah, shouts out to they moms, because moms could cook her ass off. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing or speaking Japanese. But she definitely speak it because she Japanese. But yeah. And for all you niggas who be hating on iPhone users, they met each other and now I ain't even telling that story. But get your iPhone, man. You never know how it can help you out, man. It could start a whole family.
Also, iPhones could destroy a family, so be cognizant of what you put on yours and what you viewing on yours and what you saying on that hoe. And yeah.
And for you niggas who ain't ever went into location services, it does track and document everywhere you go unless you turn it off. Understand that if you have an iPhone and if you have not turned off recent locations, it documents everywhere you go, how often you go there, and exactly how, when I say exactly, down to the second, how long you spend there. And you can click on it. It will say 5 visits, the date, time, location, and how long you were there. So unless you cut that off, that is on your iPhone. And I date bitches who so solid. A girl I was dating told me this shit when her mama told her she had checked the shit on her dad's phone. She called me and told me to turn that shit off immediately because she knew how I was moving. And she was like, I don't know if this shit will back it up anyway, but you don't need this shit being tracked on your phone for me or nobody else. And I was like, you're a real one. You're a fucking real one. But I learned about this shit over a decade ago. So please don't think if you got an iPhone, this ain't some shit you got to worry about. Bitch, I check it after every update to make sure it ain't got cut back on automatically.
Yeah, I remember you told me about it back in 2016 or 17.
Because when I went and looked at it, it was shocking how well it tracked where you went.
Yeah,
it was shocking.
I knew how many times I was at the studio a week, how long I was at the studio, all the routes I took to get there.
It had the times I went to the movies. I went and looked at the runtime for the movies I saw, and the estimations of how long I was there was so accurate. I was like, God damn. Like, I did my research before I deleted the data because I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? That shit was shocking how well it know exactly where the fuck you at.
And also, it made me some money though, because
whenever your GPS
Grubhub. And that shit
whenever your GPS make you think it ain't working, that shit working. Don't believe the hype. Your GPS know where the fuck you at, whether it's telling you where you at or not. It know. It know. Was that to give me some headlines?
It was.
These are conversations on Widax, boy, because niggas is getting lost. Niggas don't even know what's going on, but man, this next segment we gonna slide into will be familiar to everybody who done seen the episode or two. Is That's a Bet. You ready for this shit, G?
Let's get it, man.
And this shit is That's a Bet, aka Warriors versus Grizzlies. Have you checked the score?
I have not checked the score.
You a hoe if you check it. Don't check it right now that I done asked you that. But let's go ahead and put a bet on this shit. Cause the real skin on that game and really the playoffs this year. Cause I'm about to bet with you and you look at the camera with your cheating ass. Look at the camera. I can see you.
I'm legit right. I was writing the timestamp.
You a cheating ass nigga. I'm looking at your eyeballs. But Pete game, this really, I'm trying to set this shit up. This really the battle to see who the point guard king of the West, man. Cause it ain't Chris Paul old ass, even though he balling and they got number one. Ooh, see, who give a fuck? In between that nigga Steffi and the boy Chuck. So who you got tonight? Who you got in the playoffs? And who the point guard king of the West? Has he taken the crown? Is this the year he take it? Or is it next year? And does your opinion on this game is it not impacted by that or not? So predict this game and I'll take the other team. And let's determine the stipulations after you pick.
Where's it at?
Talk to the people a little bit while I get the answer.
That's a bit. So I will tell you like how I feel about those two gentlemen and like who's the point guard and who's
It's in Memphis.
It's in Memphis. I'm gonna go with I'll go with the Grizz. I'll go with the Grizz at home. Do I think he's taking the crown?
Memphis currently up 79-61 for the audience. If he truly didn't look at it, that was a hell of a call on the fly.
Yeah, I did not look at it.
79-61. You can look at the score now and pull it up because we're going to watch the game while we chop it up about this. This is called Watching Sports. So I got the Warriors to come back. It's in the third quarter with 4:20 left. So I got the Warriors to come back. What's I bet? Knowing where they at. You bet blind. What's I bet? Knowing what the score is.
Let's go. Memphis +3. Oh my God, my dog just farted, bro. Oh my God.
I think that's bullshit because they currently up by 18 to go. Memphis +3 is nonsensical. Let's say
the Warriors gonna hit a bunch of shots in the fourth quarter. They're gonna cut this shit. It's gonna Golden State gonna go up by at least
let's cut
points.
it in half. +9.
Hell no.
That sound fair to me, doggy. That sound fair to me, boy.
The most I go is +5.
I'm at +9. Meet me at +7. What's up?
I go +6.5. You can't. Ain't no other no. He was gonna go with that 6.8 or something. We'll go 7. I go 7 with you. Come on. Memphis +7.
All right. So the line +7. What's the bet? I take that. What's the bet? We got to pay off them Super Bowl bets. So Cooler gonna show his ass.
Bro, I just started back doing push-ups, so I can do 56.
Boy, I'm gonna need a couple weeks.
I did 25.
I get that nigga IOU. Bro, a nigga is not filling out these wife beaters going into the spring.
I'm not brolic right now.
I still feel like some gray sweatpants in the winter though, ladies. Trust and believe.
We'll go with
10 push-ups for every point off of the spread. So if they lose by 5, then that's 20 push-ups for you. If they lose by 11, then that's 40 for me. You see how that math works?
Yeah.
7 to line, 10 points for every point off the spread. I mean,
That's
10 push-ups for every point off. Bet. All right, there.
So hold up. We got Memphis plus 7, 10 push-ups.
Come on, Warriors. You bitches. I don't never root for you sons of motherfuckers. I'm riding with you niggas tonight, though. Can we put an amplifier? No, fuck it. Fuck the amplifier. I was about to say if they win by 20, put an amplifier on it. But if they win by 20, that's 130. Fuck that. And if I win outright, then that's at least 70 for you. So fuck that. We'll just go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
7 mean I got 11 that's closed, and you got it's 6382. So they had 19. You understand me? So you got a smooth 12-point cushion to get to as a soft landing. And I got to make up 12 to make this a W. I think I can get there. That's 4 shots from Steph.
Which is why, you reluctant when doing any type of spread, even when it's a lot. Like he able to close gaps very quickly.
I couldn't find this shit. This shit on NBA TV.
NBA TV.
Yeah. That's how I felt too, G.
NBA be getting their money though. They didn't learn from the NFL. They didn't sat down with some of them execs. I respect it. Y'all got to give us hours too. When
them nigga lying, cuz.
Time foolery.
Fuck it, I just look at the ticker. I don't need to see it live. It ain't that important. Don't nobody care about these nigga, man. But yeah, man, as we wait for you know who to drop in and skydive in for the W, man, we about 9 minutes out from what I think will be his drop in time. We popping shit about the point guards, man. How you feel about the treatment that nigga Russ been getting, man?
The game is the game. At his height, Russ was doing hella jawing at niggas telling them they was trash. So he's played long enough to where he's had a stretch that he hasn't had in his career where he's not playing as well. And you in LA has never been kind to people who don't play well in LA. Like, never been kind. That is not how that fan base works. Like, they are the Oakland Raiders of the basketball world. Like, they love their basketball team and they ride for them. And if you're going to be a Laker, you got to be cut from a different type of cloth, man, which is what Bean is, which is what Shaq is, which is what Magic is, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like the guys who wore that jersey that had Lakers on the front. They cut from a different ilk, man, and you always got to come. Like, they call themselves Showtime. So whenever the lights is on, they expect you to play. And that criticism, if you don't play well, like, it's gonna find you, bro. Like, you can't hide on that court, especially when you are the point guard. And if you don't, they gon'. And the cat who got the audacity to come at you is the cat that, has suffered at your hands quite a bit. And so I
feel like they criticizing the Timberland for not being a running shoe. You brought in a ball-dominant point guard who is not a shooter to play with LeBron James, a ball-dominant small forward. And you criticizing his impact on winning. And the shit just comical to me. And you're talking about a nigga who used to dribbling the length of the court running full speed and then laying the ball up trying to get his rhythm with one bounce scoring moves. Like, this shit crazy to me. Like, you judging a dolphin ability to climb trees.
I don't think it's that severe, but it's definitely he not playing his strength.
What Russell Westbrook done did this year that surprised you, or hasn't been able to do that surprised you?
The thing that he's done that has surprised me. The thing he's done that has surprised me has not been go go go. Like I haven't seen him hesitate in his career. Like I haven't seen him passive to take shots and shit. Like I feel like whoever the fuck is coaching him or whatever the hell is going on in that locker room, like he not confident in who he is and what he does, which is get to the fucking cup. Like create help defenders, and like you get to the cup, he rebound, he get the fuck out. Like when you need to push the pace, that's what he does. He's great in transition. Like just let him press the fucking pedal and move the game. That's what he does. Now don't stop him from doing that. But like you said, he's not with the type of person that he's going to be able to have the ball long enough, because Bron is a ball dominant point everything.
Like
the ball runs through Bron, and the ball should be running through Russ, which is the point guard, to allow him to create. Point guards create. And so it's not you needed
He went to Cleveland and said, with what I see in Kyrie, I'm willing to take a step back. And Kyrie shined and got a great deal of credit for work that LeBron really put in. Russ came to the Lakers and he said, all right, nigga, it's your turn. Take a step back, because he know he better than Russ. And even though he know Russ is of great value, he's at a point in his career where he not willing to take a step back. He trying to win right now. And he expects players who do not have his versatility to be able to do what he did. He went to Miami and took a step back. And it didn't work. And he watched D Wade do it. And then they went to 4 straight finals and He go to Cleveland, he take a step back and defer to Kyrie, but be the driving force of the team. They go to 4 straight finals, even the finals after Kyrie leave. This nigga expects somebody else to be able to come in and do what D Wade did, to be able to be a player of his caliber and do what he did. Everybody not going to be able to turn off what make them special and still give you something that is otherworldly. That's not how this shit works.
I think he was able to do that shit with Kyrie, because Kyrie, I think you said point guard out west. If we talking about out east, that shit is a one-man race. That nigga Kai chopping motherfuckers up. And this is the guy that he's always been. And I think that team is like now at its best functionality, which is now we got a lot of good players, right? Like I don't even know if Ben Simmons been in the lineup, but
the shit that blew my mind is LeBron happy place. His big scheme was to just be in Cleveland with Kyrie, and to watch Kyrie drop 60 a week after LeBron dropped 50 is for LeBron to still be at MVP level and Kyrie to be exactly who the fuck he thought Kyrie was when he went back to Cleveland. Because he said then, this man is going to win MVPs. And people was like, what? This nigga never made the playoffs. He keep getting the number 1 overall pick. He was like, this nigga finna win MVPs. Period. He said that is why I feel comfortable going back to Cleveland. That man right there. And had they stayed together, they'd have definitely went to the finals. The year he went to the finals without him. That year he was in Boston, that he went to LA and he didn't have AD. The team they were sweeping, Toronto, went to the finals and everybody else was injured. I'm sure Kyrie and LeBron would have went to their 5th finals. The year after that, bro, I ain't gonna keep going through this shit, but they'd have definitely beat the Heat the year the Heat lost to the Lakers, who had LeBron. If it was LeBron and Kyrie, you understand what the fuck I'm saying? If they don't break up, LeBron go to 15 straight finals, and Kyrie get him at least another 2 by now.
But how historical is that shit? Is that we always see that shit, like,
and that's
great
the thing.
duos and like great.
They don't talk about it like Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah,
they don't talk about it like Shaq and Kobe. And this a cold open for Gimme Some Sports. We was gonna have CBS, but they were unavailable this week. So this some straight up Gimme Some Sports, and we just talking sports like a motherfucker for a second. And does that not blow your mind, the impact of that? That this shit is the Kobe and Shaq level breakup, but niggas don't talk about it like that. Look at what they could have been if they
brought
stayed
a championship to Cleveland. That was in itself, to do something of that magnitude. Nobody since Jim Brown has been able to bring a championship to Cleveland, Ohio.
Do you think KD's scared to leave if Kyrie doesn't leave Cleveland? Do you think he's scared to leave the Warriors if Kyrie don't dip? Can I go somewhere else and beat them 2 niggas?
I don't think he's. Do I think KD's scared to leave? I don't think he's scared to leave. I just think he don't go anywhere with.
Who his riding partner, if not that man that LeBron believed in?
Yeah, like I don't.
Who he lead the Warriors to team up with if Kyrie still with LeBron playing like LeBron playing? Because LeBron went and won in 2020. You understand me? So LeBron won another title with a nigga who couldn't get out of the first round in AD. I think he had got out of the first round once in 8 years. After going and winning a title with Kyrie, who never made the playoffs without him.
You know who I think playing a great chip, man?
Who that is?
KD.
He playing with a great chip on his shoulder?
Yeah.
I hope so, because I'm one of the people that point out that he ain't never won shit by himself as the guy.
Who has, though? Oh, as the guy.
Steph.
Okay.
Steph Curry.
I didn't hear the last part.
LeBron James.
Shut up, nigga. I didn't hear the last part of what you said before you went into that tirade.
Dirk
You said he ain't won shit. Dirk did win by himself, though.
Out of the West with Shaq and Kobe, with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden on the Thunder. Dirk got the hardest championship of the modern era, and people talk about it as a LeBron failure, like he didn't sweep the 2-time defending champion Lakers that had Kobe Bryant. That's one of the greatest championships of the past 20 years, and they tell the story like a LeBron failure. They cheating Dirk Nowitzki by doing that shit, and I hope that history respect that championship for what it is, not a LeBron failure. He didn't get out there and choke. He got out there and got suffocated. You understand me? He may have not been able to breathe, but it wasn't because he wasn't trying. And you can give JJ Barea the credit you want to, like Dirk Nowitzki didn't win the fucking MVP that year. Fuck y'all. His only MVP in a 20-year career. But JJ Barea shut LeBron down. If y'all don't suck a fat dick.
Yeah.
That's Dirk Nowitzki, yeah. And if I got anything to say about it while we having these conversations on wax and these Gimme Some Sports, I'm going to do my own little bit of history telling and make sure y'all respect Dirk Nowitzki. Only championship. Y'all respect Jason Kidd, only championship. Y'all respect Jason Terry, who almost won in Boston, who almost won here, who almost won there. Jason Terry, only championship. He got boomed on by LeBron and got his revenge in Dallas. If y'all don't respect that roster and all the legends it had on that motherfucker, bruh, like a group of scrubs went out there and bopped the Heat. People talk about that Heat team. Oh, the big three. They had one of the greatest rosters of all time. And I'm sick of people being idiots and not just accepting that if you take LeBron off of any of them teams, none of them teams make the Eastern Conference Finals. Cut the bullshit. Cut the bullshit. LeBron went down there because he didn't want to have to play Boston by himself. That simple. To act like Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade made a super team is bullshit. Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and Mike Miller would have been one of the greatest rosters of all time without LeBron James. If y'all don't shut the hell up, they had the MVP in Depoy in 2012. That's what made that an all-time roster. but they was one nigga, LeBron James. Any team that have the MVP and the depoy got an all-time roster. Big three, my ass. In any big three, one person always have to step back and isn't truly himself anyway. In Boston, it was Ray Allen, and the disrespect for a nigga who was always better than Paul Pierce, who only took the step back because they went to the Celtics. If Paul Pierce and KG went to the Supersonics, they'd have been just as good, and Ray Allen would have been that nigga instead of Paul Pierce. To act like Jesus Shuttlesworth isn't a better all-time hooper than Paul Sloppy Body Pierce, I will not fucking have it in my church. You understand me? Jesus! Speaking of Denzel, you're not going to act like Paul Pierce deserves more respect than Jesus Shuttlesworth. Not in my goddamn, not in my dojo. Not in my dojo. You understand me?
Yeah, we can't do that.
So
like there's no Kevin Garnett was in his heyday. Kevin Garnett was an absolute. They called him the kid. He was an animal. But Ray Allen in his heyday, like Kevin Garnett was a freak because he was 7 feet tall and he was pulling up. He got there before Dirk did.
Ray Allen is what Grant Hill was supposed to be without the injury.
Yeah.
He was Grant Hill potential realized. He had the inside game. He was booming on niggas.
Yeah, Ray Allen was an animal.
He's remembered as one of the greatest three-point shooters of all times, and he was dunking on niggas. Y'all don't understand. Even the 6'1" niggas was booming on niggas in our day. Steve Francis said, "Oh, y'all don't want to pay me the max? I just go play in China. Y'all can think we give a fuck about these championships. Somebody gonna pay me this money." And people give Kobe the credit for basketball rise in China, but we gonna tell our version of history. Stevie Franchise went over there and won 5 goddamn titles, boy. The same amount of championships Kobe won in America, he went and won in China. Y'all gonna give Steve Franchise his credit for making basketball huge in China. Because if you watch his highlight tape and his mixtape from the NBA, to watch him doing that over there to lesser competition, every game was a highlight tape. And you're not gonna tell me his highlight tape is second to anybody's. I ain't saying he is greater player as Kobe, but if you don't give that man his credit for building basketball globally, you a fool. And understand that if he was booming like that at 6'1", if AI were booming like that at 5'11", not really 6'1", nigga, understand that our point guards was out there going ham. Ray Allen was a guard level basketball player, G.
Ray Allen, 6'5", could guard. He could guard your 4. Like, he could legitimately guard your 4.
He was a 5'2" basketball player. He didn't have no holes in his game. In his prime, wasn't no holes. He was a way better player than Paul Pierce. And anybody who say different are the goddamn fool.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray Allen realized the game was extending earlier on. And so that's where his game developed. So he had that longevity. Because that's why Dwayne Wade's career ended sooner than it should have, is because all that banging he didn't develop his jump shot until later on in his career. He was flashed. He was always banging into motherfuckers. You saw that at Marquette. You saw that in Miami his entire career. Dwayne Wade banged into people. Ray Allen was like, bitch, I'm a player. I'm gonna step back here and I'm gonna let this hoe fly later on in my career. But he was still booming on niggas. Like Ray Allen got some years in Miami when he went down there, he boomed on a couple motherfuckers and they was highlights on the way to that playoff run. The
game where he hit the 3, he yams on the nigga in that game. It's one of them, I drove the baseline and my arm is extended as high as it can go. But he yam on a nigga in that game. He still had bounce. One of the greatest dunkers of all time said it best, man. It ain't a problem getting up. It's coming down that's the problem. Niggas keep that bounce. Niggas do not want to land. You understand me? But yeah, this GSS. So we want to give you some sports. So we're going to transition from the NBA right on into the NFL, man. It's the off season, but them niggas that figured out a way on some LeBron shit to make themselves interesting year round. And hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. Who got my quarterback? Deshaun Watson done went to Cleveland. Thoughts? Get contract. Get contract.
Thank God it's a big contract, all guaranteed. That is the type of money that you take to go to Cleveland, Ohio, and play in Cleveland. And I'm not saying anything wrong. It's just cold as hell up there, and they don't have
that
a
OBJ gonna circle back.
Ooh, that would be nice. Baker ain't up there no more.
That would be nice.
To slap that motherfucker in the face, but I'm gonna stay away from Cleveland. I'm gonna stay away from them for a little while, man. Have you heard of this woman's Rooney Rule thing?
Baker go sit in the hayfield. What's up with the women? Talk to me. I love me some women's. Talk to me. Educate me.
I don't think you're gonna like this.
I haven't heard.
So they creating positions essentially they have like at these front office jobs. They creating the space for these owners to like create jobs for women, but like essentially nepotism, like they daughters and like nieces and shit who ain't never did shit in football. Like we know homies who are like crawling their way through this game, like have been putting in this work for over a decade plus. Like it's people who are trying to get into this shit, people who are coaches, people who are front office people, all these folks who are different personnels around the league, like trying to find their way and scratch their way.
Since my youth.
Shit. And they created
I have always believed that women being included in the minority movement has served one purpose: to cloud minority municipalities, minority funds, minority allocations, minority positions, minority legislature, to make sure that it benefits white people. Because there are tons of white women.
Getting around to, you're right.
And that is point blank, period, the purpose of women being included in any sort of civil rights legislation or movement. And it bothers me for that reason, because it's to make sure that white people benefit from minority legislature, and it makes women treat black men as opposition when women are our greatest asset in life, let alone the civil rights or any other movement. To take our women from us or divide their attention and make them believe they should split and divide their attention between fighting with us and us being their opposition because we're part of the patriarchy. No, boo. We just the goddamn minority with y'all, and they clouding y'all judgment and dividing y'all attention because they know how fucking valuable y'all are. And it's a reason why black women have the highest rate and percentage of accepted loans in the country. It's the reason why y'all are the highest educated people in the country. It is not only because y'all are fucking amazing. It is to create the divide that is exacerbated by women's movements always coming in, like the Me Too movement did, and clouding the BLM movement. All that shit is by design. That shit is orchestrated. It is to divide our attention. And it was not by chance that everybody at the head of the BLM organization were women who identified on the LGBTQ spectrum. You understand what I'm saying? The devaluation of the black male from a societal standpoint is flat out design. And you can call it racism or social engineering, but to run around trying to avoid concrete facts is something I'm not going to be here to entertain. That is why women movements were created, and that is the overall impact they have. To divide the attention of black women, this world's greatest asset, the God being walking this earth, the only people with the ability to create every other person that is walking this earth, black women. Do not doubt your power, and do not think that I am questioning your worth with my words. Understand that I see it, and that's why it hurt to see y'all attention divided, because I know exactly how valuable y'all are. And this give me some sports, but we keeping it fucking real. You understand me?
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, so the NFL is creating space. Like nothing that they do is going to, like you said, it is going to cloud the judgment of everybody else, and it is going to push other minorities out and allow them to make space for people who
they better double down on the Rooney Rule. A woman got to be in that position. A black woman better be fucking interviewed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear what the fuck I'm saying? For all 32 positions that's created, a black woman better be interviewed for that position that got to be held by a woman. They better double Rooney that motherfucker. That's what I know. And let that shit work out to the percentage of head coaches for a brand new position that's created.
And that's
you convince me that for a brand new position that has never existed, that black women are somehow the same shit y'all did with quarterbacks, do that shit with this new position. The same shit y'all did with middle linebackers and centers, the highest paid left tackles, the highest paid positions. All that shit y'all did to try and say that black people shouldn't have those positions. Do that shit with this position and watch how we respond. I'm sick of the tomfoolery and the fuckery. Black women better hold a lot of these positions. I'm talking 25% at least. We 13% of the country, 75% of the NFL, and 1% of the goddamn head coaches. Y'all can suck my dick. Black talent do not need white steward and white leadership over that talent. That is not a certifiable fact that any human being should be willing to accept on face value.
Square bitty. But that's what's going on in the NFL.
That's exactly what the hell going on. We was supposed to be talking about Deshaun Watson. We ended up talking about women, suffrage, goddamn, civil rights, and goddamn. So, do you think that we're going to be successful up there? And if he is to be successful, how long you think he going to have to wait for he get a shot? After having to sit out a whole fucking year for criminal accusations that end up getting dismissed. Now he has a civil lawsuit. How do you think they're going to suspend him or get him time served? What you think going to happen with that shit?
I don't want to speculate on that shit. Do I think he's going to be successful in Cleveland? He's going to be fun to watch like he is everywhere he'll go in the NFL, no matter where it is. In organizations like Cleveland and Houston, he's not going to do well. He should have picked something different. Cleveland,
this nigga got a year ago, this was the best line in the NFL. He has a 1-2 punch at running back that he's never had in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. This nigga got a defense with crazy stoppers, bro. I think he finna go up there and fuck that whole division up. I think Lamar gonna regret that nigga coming up there. I think the Steelers not gonna be happy about that nigga being up there. And Joe Burrow, after going to the goddamn Super Bowl to not make the playoffs because Deshaun Watson bop your ass twice, I don't think he gonna enjoy that at all. This nigga led the league in passing after they traded D-Hop with the worst O-line after being he was the most sacked quarterback in the league and led the league in passing the year Tom Brady won that MVP and championship. Bruh, I mean, no, I think Rodgers won the MVP. But like without a number one receiver, he led the league in passing, cuz. They might not bring back Jarvis. Let them niggas go draft the number one, bruh. That nigga finna go the fuck off up there. You're not gonna convince me he ain't been working out. It's a reason they gave that nigga $200 million. It's because they seen him come up there like, oh, that boy, he ready. He ready. That's what they said. They seen him, they're like, oh, he ready. Shit. They in Cleveland right now interviewing massage therapists and signing them to NDAs, nigga. It's scrippers right now getting their massage licenses.
Yeah, that's a whole other different subject I don't want to touch. What we got next, man? Yeah.
Could you do me a favor?
Ryan gone.
Yeah, we can stay on there. All right, Matty Ice, how you feel he gonna do it?
Bro, the AFC is a bloodbath. Like the AFC West now.
I just want to point something out for you people who out there who don't understand how history actually play out. When Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts were in the same division as him. They shifted Peyton Manning to the AFC South, even though Indianapolis is north of the Mason-Dixon, so that he was playing the Jaguars, the newly formed Texans, and the Tennessee Titans, each for 6 games a year. Leaving Tom Brady in the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, and the fucking New York Jets. Patty Holmes, as a starter, wins an MVP and loses in the AFC Championships by a throw. Here comes Justin Herbert. The next year, this nigga win the Super Bowl. Tick, tick, boom. Here come fucking Russell Wilson. And then here come fucking David Carr and the fucking Raiders. You see the division they got Patty Mahomes in while he go try to be the GOAT, and he's still making Super Bowl after Super Bowl and smacking niggas. And he getting criticized the fuck up.
League, bro. They went to get like Devontae Adams.
They had the worst team in the league. The Miami Dolphins throw a bag at his receiver so that he lost Tyreek Hill. He not Joe Montana who got Jerry Rice for his whole prime after he was with Joe Montana. After he was with Steve Young and shit. He not the Hall of Fame guy who got his guy. He could just count on him. After signing up for 10 years, he had Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and David Carr come down and fuck all his plans up. You did. And watch him still go hard in the paint. Then you got fucking the nigga on the Bills. Then you got Lamar Jackson. Then you got fucking Deshaun Watson. This nigga Patty, if he go get some, y'all ain't gonna tell me that nigga ain't the GOAT.
It's stacking up, so he can't. Like, let's stack this thing up so he never touch, because they know how talented he is.
But it's gonna be a situation where if he get to the dance, he's smacking that shit up. Who gonna touch him in it? But see, then he get to the NFC, and them niggas that had a cakewalk. If that get there, he gonna be to have to do shit.
It's what
Aaron Rodgers gonna be that choke.
I'm sorry, it's what my boy had to like not go through for several years, bro. Like Tom Brady didn't really have to go through shit because all the talent was in the NFC. It wasn't in the AFC. Like he got a Super Bowl because Rich Gannon was giving him the blues. And not the shit on Rich Gannon, but like Rich Gannon, like the Tuck rule, that was Rich Gannon who was giving Tom Brady the team the blues.
That was MVP Rich Gannon, though, man. Don't shit on my 2001 Rich Gannon. I was a Raiders fan at the time. I was fucking with the Raiders because I was a Marcus Allen fan and shit. I was Tecmo Bowl. I was still stuck on the Raiders. I hadn't let him go yet. That nigga was built like Ben before Big Ben. He was Big Ben before. He was a big tank built motherfucker. You understand me? He looked just like Janikowski. I could have swore they was running the fake every time they ran the punt on the field. I was like, nigga, is that my dog Gannon? They running the sneak? Yo, that punter could boot that shit though. That nigga had an iron foot.
Hey, the Chiefs they got a nice haul back though. They got 2 first rounders. I think they gonna go get a great receiver. They gonna go find a DK Metcalf type cat.
I think McCole Hardman ready to step up as the speedster. He 4'3". He 4'3". He ain't Tyreek, but he's speedy than a bitch.
He gonna be the slide guy. He not Debo though. Like he not number 1 receiver guy.
Debo an old scat back 3-pack Tebow ass nigga. If he threw the ball, he'll be Tebow. That nigga ain't no number 1 receiver, cuz.
Bro, Debo, you crazy. Debo, that dude.
He ain't taking the top off. Just how the nigga get a lot of
crazy. Debo off the chain. Bro, Debo had like 600 rush yards, like 1,300 receiving yards, like 12 or 13 all-purpose touchdowns. Debo that dude, bro. Debo that dude. Look at you looking up the stats. Go ahead and call him out. Debo shine, bro.
Warriors, Grizzlies 116, Warriors 89. It ain't looking good for OCLD. I got a lot of push-ups, nigga. Fuck the Super Bowl. This shit about to kill me. How many Super Bowl push-ups I got? You got that in the data? We need to talk about that shit.
41.
Woo. 41. And what's the multiplier? Is it by 2 on both ends?
That's how many it is altogether. I got 56. You got 41. You ended up with 41. Cool boy ended up with none.
Ooh. Shit, that nigga said Debo Samuel's a number one receiver. Boy, who your top 10? Your top 10 gotta be garbage. How you think? Okay.
Oh, top 10 receivers in the league?
I ain't even gonna make you do that. How about that though? For the quarterbacks who ain't landed somewhere yet, where you think my nigga J Boo gonna end up, man? Because I think J Boo gonna shift.
New Orleans, man.
He gonna shift power wherever he go.
Yeah, he is.
It's not gonna be as soft a landing spot as Tom Brady think. I think when he seen that bitch Matt Ryan go to Indy, he said, the NFC South is the AFC East. Ain't no way I can't come back because we definitely winning this bitch.
Yeah, Jabu could fuck up his plans.
J Boo had them bitches at 5-2. That's 10-4 with 3 more games. They winning more than they losing. That's 2, 1 loss. That's goddamn 12-5, boy. Them niggas is number 4 seed with that this year. And that's his first year in the offense. If he studied hard while he was injured, J Boo gonna raise hell. He stay in New Orleans. If Colston come back, you think that bitch gonna play or he gonna demand a trade? How you think that gonna play out?
You mean Slant Boy? Marcus Colston been gone for some time.
What's Slant Boy real name?
It is
Marcus Houston, that nigga for Immature. I can't. It Marcus something. Michael Thomas. It ain't Marcus nothing.
Thomas.
Damn. I want to be like Thomas. The fuck, Michael Thomas. You think he coming back? What you think he gonna look like if he do? The 10 man. That bitch ankle got to be made out of Steph paper.
It is. It's not good. I like Slant Boy a lot. Extremely talented player. Nah, I don't think he's coming back. I think it's very tumultuous with the. I think we need to get a good haul for him. Hopefully,
I think he's gonna sit out all of the guaranteed part of his contract. Dead ass. I think he's gonna sit out until his payment is conditional, and then he gonna come back and play so he get paid, and make them niggas pay him or trade him. I think that's the time he on because he don't like Sean Payton.
Yeah, but Sean Payton gone, so hopefully he may stick around.
Oh, Sean Payton is gone.
Yeah, he retired.
The NFL in a crazy place. We'll talk about that later on GSH. P, can you do me a favor?
What that is, man?
Tell me something good.
Bro, I found this damn story. I honestly don't know if it's quote unquote good or not, but this shit is fantastic, and I kind of want to write a movie about this shit.
Talk to me.
So, and this is more of the headline is great, but I'm gonna read the story to you. So, it's priceless tapestry is made whole as missing piece is returned, solving 40-year heist mystery. This is by Andy Corbley. So, I'm gonna read the story because the story is just way too fucking good. Settle in. After an art thief stole 6 Belgian tapestries from a church in Spain, it took years for them to be recovered. One of them, which came back with an infuriating new feature, a 2 foot by 2 foot square cut away from the bottom left corner, has finally been restored decades later, thanks to help from none other than the thief who brandished the scissors. Rene Alphonse Vanderberg is sometimes known by another name, Erik the Belgian, a notorious art thief. The Belgian stole thousands of pieces throughout his career. Recently deceased in his adopted country of Spain, Vanderberg graced several newspapers with candid interviews in which it must be said he reported several different totals for numbers of heists conducted and numbers of artworks lifted. However, regarding the theft from the church in the remote town of Castro Harris, Vanderberg made off single-handedly with 6 tapestries woven in the 17th century depicting the liberal arts and the muses, the largest of which was 13 by 20 feet. 2 years later, Vanderberg turned himself in and eventually aided in negotiating the return of thousands of works he stole. The missing square of the tapestry depicting the cherub was not returned in those years and will remain apart for 4 decades until a Spanish investigator named Angel Alcaraz took interest in the matter while working with the National Police on a research about art theft. Seeing that Vandenberg had returned the tapestries, Alcaraz contacted the thief's lawyer to see if he had any leads on where the small square would be recovered. Information regarding its whereabouts led to it being found shortly after, and a ceremony was held in which it was turned over to the Bishop of Burgos, who oversees the Castro Jariz Church. Quote, if heaven should lack one angel, it would be a lesser heaven, unquote, said Alcaraz at a press conference, according to the translation from Sam Jones at The Guardian. Quote, and if this tapestry had lacked this little angel, it wouldn't be the same tapestry. Today we are giving back to Castro Jariz something that should never have gone in the first place. The chief thief passed away in his home city of Malaga in 2020 at the age of 81, survived by 5 children he had with 7 wives, one of which was his lawyer. He never got a crack at his dream of going after the Mona Lisa, but he did write an autobiography called Erik El Belga, Por Amar al Arte, or For the Love of Art. And I don't know if that's a good story. Oh, I'm sorry. He never committed a robbery with violence, believing it tainted the art thus stolen, and spent his final years painting, resting easy, knowing that the police never caught him. You always say we only hear stories about motherfuckers who get caught. This motherfucker said, man, y'all ain't catch me my whole career. I'm telling on myself. Y'all suck. Bro. Nah, I stole way more than that shit, nigga. Hey, go dig this shit. Bro, but like, I wrestled with, like, when I found this story, I wrestled with the fact that, man, he's stealing somebody's art so people can't enjoy it. But like, his love for art drove him to take this shit, and it was all recovered. Like, he believed in nonviolence. So like, if I'm an artist, if I make some shit and he steal my shit, bro, he find it that valuable. Like, he wanted the Mona Lisa. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Da Vinci. That is the epitome. If he would have stole something, if an art thief come and start taking my shit, and like, we like, damn, this motherfucker keep, one, you just got the best of me. You outfoxed me. That's why I love Oceans. Like, them niggas that shit was their art. Like, that art's like, stealing in itself is art. And if you love my work enough to say, I'm going to take this shit, and like, you don't harm it, you don't harm anybody to get it, you just want it because it drives you, like that look, like, it's hard for me to argue with that. Like, it's hard for me to argue with that, man. So I thought that shit was something good. That like, you always say the bet, like, you only hear about these motherfuckers who doing these heists, who drug dealers and shit, because them motherfuckers got caught. This man turned himself in and said, man, I get this back to y'all, boy. Y'all ass at this shit. He's the real life Lamarck from Ocean's 13. Like, he the real life Lamarck.
That's dope. That's really dope. This shit, man.
What are your thoughts, man?
You know my thoughts on theft in general.
Yeah.
I find it very entertaining that people who stole everything they currently are in possession of are making us buy it back with 30-year mortgages. And I ask questions like, how soon or how long, how many years have to pass before it's okay for Nigerians to come dig up George Washington's grave and call it history, and then put them on display in Nairobi? You know what I'm saying?
I think that need to be a music video, like concept.
Yeah, because it bothers me greatly for
that shit gonna ruffle some feathers. We gonna be public enemy number uno.
Yeah, we need to do that for real. They call that shit modern history, a third world country. Wink. But yeah, man. So for the people who have chosen not to pay $30 million for these pieces of art that have been given this value and have acquired this value through a currency that has been given value through force and power and control, I just simply say, do your thing, man. For anybody who looks at the cards they were dealt and say, I'm not playing your fucking game, I find you to be inspiring. And they can put whatever words they want to on your actions. I appreciate all of the stories that I've gotten to consume of the people who, like you said, whose stories have not been told because they didn't have the ending that the powers that be would like them to have. Shouts out to Buddy, man, for getting it done, man. And finish it off by giving a big ass I told you so. I wouldn't have gave the I told you so though. I have a great deal of love for the big meeches who are okay dying unknown.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have gave you the I told you so. I'm gonna be dead and gone for y'all find that shit out. Maybe I asked my kids to give it back to you at some point. Well, actually, no.
Our kids would be selling the NFTs of these bitches, bro. These bitches would be in like lockers and train stations around the world, and my kids would be selling the NFTs to these motherfuckers, bro. These bitches would be scavenger hunts in the metaverse and shit.
Like a Ready Player One.
Exactly, bro. Y'all have never got my shit.
Yeah, that's me now. I went through that he had to come up with some crazy plans, like, bro, thousands of pieces. He lived to be 81. Let's say he started his career when he was 20. Let's say he stopped it when he was 70. Like 50 years. He stole, like, he was a busy man. He stayed in some shit, like, looking at some damn blueprints. Like, that's some cold shit to me, bro.
So show the people looking at blueprints again. Fuck Will Smith, get my man the Oscar. That nigga PHTIV need a lead man role right now. My nigga look at blueprint with the best of you niggas. Ain't none of you niggas looking at blueprints like the doggy fuck you talking about. And hit one of his favorite rappers, DMX. So can't nobody growl like your dog. Nigga, that's all right though. We gonna put the script together that put my dog on the silver screen. Y'all nigga, we ain't gonna wait on you niggas, man. And that's on every team, man. Cause whether it's shine, inspiration, time, or elevation, man, we here go give you what you want and give you what you need. And then give me some headlines. We believe that it is always better to give than it is to receive.
Oh, yeah.